Hello, everyone. You know what time it is. It is Self-Care Sunday. Self-Care Sunday, I tell you. Who knew already? We're kicking off week 77, 78. 77, 78 is where we're at. How are you doing? How are you doing tonight? What is happening in your world? Hey, Adele and Dazzle are here. Dazzle, it is treat time. How are you? How is everybody tonight? What are you all grateful for? What are you grateful for on this Sunday evening as we kick off week 77, 78? And I'm grabbing one more thing over here. Always grabbing something else. How has your weekend been? How has your weekend been? You guys been busy? You guys been busy? We were steady today again, which is great. A little more in between light showers today was the kind of day that we had. That is the kind of day we had rolling today. It is. But it is great to have you all here as we kick off another week. Another week. Week 77, 78. I am so excited to have you here. Hey, Florida Angie. How are you? Great to have you here. Are you back in Florida? I hope all is well with you. Well, send some of that nice weather this way. I thought it was going to be a nice fall day. I was up. I sat outside and read the paper this morning, and then the rain started coming. So we'll take some nice weather. Nice weather would be nice. Nice weather will be nice. Let's get started with the Good Morning, Good Night book. What did I do with my glasses here tonight? Ah, there they are. They're under all the 941 paperwork on my desk. Under all that. Back in Florida. That is wonderful, Angie. We're in the Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Tonight, we're on page 152. Good morning. Yikes. I almost attempted the good morning without coffee and a shower. Take care of yourself before leaping into the world. Take care. Love ya. It is great to have you here. Today is Self-Care Sunday. That's the day. That is the day we set aside each and every week. Each and every week for you to unplug, disconnect. Forget about everything else. Forget about it. Forget about it. The rest of the world can wait. The rest of the world can wait. You can disconnect. You can unplug. Not only can you, you need to. You need to disconnect. You need to unplug. You need to forget about everything because this is a marathon. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay? And we are working our way through this, but there is no end. There is not an end. This is something you are still dealing with. We are all still dealing with. And with that, you need to take a rest break. You need to take time each and every week, even if that's a half day on Wednesday, a half day on Friday, or, you take Tuesday or Thursday instead of Sunday. I get that you have to work on Sunday sometimes. That's okay. However you do it, make sure you take time each and every week so that you can refill you. Refill you. Hey, Jennifer, great to have you here. Kitty is here live. Great to have you both here. Thought of you and Adele today, Kitty and Adele. I forget Kitty's cat's name. Heard about a coffee cafe, the Cat Coffee Cafe. It's a coffee tea place in Salt Lake City. That cats are welcome. You can go there with your cat. They have cats. I would not go there, but hey, they have that. You know, it is a place to find your zen with your cat with you. I don't know about that. But it is in Salt Lake City. Princess and Mama. I was going to call it Princess. I was going to call it Princess. But I thought one of them was Princess. But I don't know about a coffee shop with it. And the cats can be adopted. These things that people come up with. I heard about it and I'm like, I don't know about going and getting my coffee with all the cats around. Good house cats. My guess is Dazzle likes the house too, and Dazzle ain't going too far. Dazzle is one of her creature comforts. Well, it is great to have you all here on Self Care Sunday. It is a day that is about you. It is about your care, and so that is what is so important. That is what is so important as we kick off week 77, 78. Week 77, 78. For those of you that do home decor, I am not sure if you have seen this on replacements.com has updated their website. Excuse me. And you can now take a picture of a place setting or a dish, and it will find the pattern for you. It will find what it is. So when you don't know what that dish is, take a picture of it on replacements.com. And it will go out and find it for you. It will go out and find it for you and tell you what it is and what its value is. Doesn't like going anywhere. I hear you there. I hear you there. I hear you there. Today we did get out. We had a good self-care day. Like I said, I was up early reading the paper and stuff this morning and having some downtime. I don't think I looked at my phone before like noon today. 11:30, 12 o'clock today. I don't think I touched my phone. And still had it on silent. We went out and saw the movie Free Guy today. Free Guy, which was a cute movie. And it had a good underlying message to it. So, I'm always looking for a lesson. What can you learn? It was a lighthearted movie. It was good. But the underlying message in the movie is you be you. You be you. Okay? You be your store. You be your store. You don't have to be somebody else's store. You don't have to be like somebody else. You be you. You have the freedom to be you, was the underlying message. And so often in society and the death scroll of Facebook and Instagram and everything, we get caught up in trying to be somebody else. We get caught up in trying to make our business like somebody else's instead of like what you want. Like what you want and what you want for your business. This is about you, okay? And you have that freedom. You have the freedom to create the environment you want, the store you want, the products you want, the coworkers you want. This is all on you. You get to create this. You have that freedom. Don't put yourself trying to be like, oh, I want to be like that person, or I want to be like this store. No, you have the complete power within you. You have the complete power within you to create the store of your dreams, to create the world that you envision, to do what you want to do, And if that's, you want to be behind the counter every day, that's great. If it's, you want to have a store, but you don't ever want to be, you don't want to be the front person, that's okay. You have the freedom. You can choose. You get to choose. And, in a lighthearted way, that message came through in this movie. A lot of it was actually filmed right downtown where we had fall seminar in Worcester, Massachusetts a couple of years ago. It was part of the movie was filmed on the Boston waterfront, and part of it was filmed right downtown Worcester, right where we were. Um, like a block over from our hotel. A lot of this movie was filmed. A lot of scenes for it, and well, hang in there, Kitty. You will find them. You will find the right coworkers. It's better to wait for the right ones than have a bunch of the wrong ones. But these are freedoms you choose. These are, and so the life of an independent business owner. So often we get caught up in keeping up with the Joneses, especially in this era of Instagram and Facebook. And what is that store doing? And what was their big display? Or what was their post? Or what do they have on sale? That's all a bunch of hullabaloo. Hullabaloo, I tell you. Hullabaloo, You don't have to do that. That is not the way this rolls. It rolls with you creating the environment you want to have. It rolls with you creating the store you want to have, creating the life you want to have. What are your dreams? How do you want to live? You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. You have the freedom. You have the freedom to do whatever you want. And that is so important. So that is the lesson from part of our down day. We also did a little mall walking to get some steps in and stuff today in the rain. And it was interesting going in some of the stores. So like in Macy's, their backstage was jam-packed with stuff. And as you walk through it, you're like, oh, there's a lot of reason why this stuff is here. There's a lot of reason why this stuff is here. And you walk through their main store and you're like, they got no inventory. They had things spread out and everything. Kohl's, we walked through a Kohl's tonight too, and they had a lot of fake wall. They were setting up the Sephora in there, but they had other areas where they were making the store smaller so the store looked more full. Again, supply chain issues. So they were making the store smaller to make it more full. And so you saw what different retailers were doing to get things, to make things go. Right. Home Goods, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls are doing it. We were in a shoe store in the mall, and one of the big ones, and they had 2 or 3 aisles that had nothing in them. 2 or 3 aisles, and their answer was, "Oh, we just got cleaned out with back to school." They didn't just get cleaned out; they had squat. It is a supply chain issue. It is a supply chain issue. But you're seeing it in real time as you walk through these stores. So it's always good to get out. So I guess I was working some today, even though it was our down day, getting my steps in, walking through these stores, to see what they are doing and to see how they are doing it. So that was interesting. And, the face they're trying to put on it. I think the fake walls and stuff did a better job than some of the other things they did. Bed Bath & Beyond is pretty empty too. Right. These guys are waiting on containers. They're all waiting on inventory, In the olden days, you would have said, oh, it's a retailer that's going out because they can't get deliveries from their suppliers. And nowadays, you're like, they can't get their orders in. They can't get their orders in. And it's like it will eventually, they will have the bullwhip effect and they will have too much inventory. They will eventually get to the point of inventory saturation if they haven't planned correctly. But just from a store feel, the fake walls did a better job at concealing the lack of inventory than either the spreading it out did. Absolutely, you should be promoting the fact that you have inventory in stock and deliveries daily. In stock and new inventory arriving daily should be something that you are promoting often, because it's not just that you have inventory in stock, but you have new things arriving daily, uh, by the minute, many times by the minute. It's not just by the hour; it's by the minute. You have new items arriving. I heard in clothing we got a ton of stuff in this weekend. I just saw the our end of day report, which said the overflow is in one of the fitting rooms. So the overflow to the back room is in one of the fitting rooms of clothing. So baskets and baskets. I didn't pull up a basket count yet to see how many baskets we had come in this weekend. But you know that is a good amount, and we're open tomorrow. We're open Sunday hours tomorrow, but we're open tomorrow. So we'll see what Labor Day brings us. But it is this weekend thus far has been better than the past two or three, anyways, off the top of my head. When I look at just in a purely dollar sales figure uh, wise, which is not a bad thing. Which is not a bad thing. And I'm expecting a decent day. I looked at 2019 Labor Day, and I said, we can open. We don't need to open it, and we have people on vacation and stuff this week. So I said, go ahead and open a little later. Go ahead and open at 10 instead of 9. I said that's fine. There's no problem with that. You're not going to miss anybody with that. You're not going to miss anybody. Um, and we'll get to it. That will be fine with. I said if that helps stretch our inventory, our team a little bit more this week, where we're uh, just a tad bit shorthanded this week. Not god awful, but a couple little holes this week with people away. So not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Um, uh, uh, there are states, and I mean, that as states figure out what to do with their stimulus, I did want to highlight a couple that are doing something to give back to people. There are a couple states that are giving out money, kind of like the federal government stimulus checks. Uh, Californians making $75,000 or less will be sent checks between $500 and $600, and that's on top of an extra $500 the state paid out to those who have children. Colorado is giving their stimulus checks to the unemployed. They sent $375 to folks who hadn't gotten at least one unemployment check, who had gotten at least one unemployment check between March and October of 2020. Maryland, anybody who claimed the earned income tax credit on their 2019 taxes will get $500 for families and $300 for individual. New Mexico has $5 million set aside to give out to people who didn't qualify for the federal stimulus. They'll get a one-time payment of $750, and Florida's trying to give teachers $1,000 bonus, but that's sort of up in the air. Georgia's going to do similar. Michigan, earlier in 2021, granted $500 bonuses to its teachers. And full-time teachers in Tennessee is getting a $1,000 bonus and $500 to part-time ones. And different districts in Texas are doing some stuff. Yeah, I'm not suggesting waiting for the mail, but again, there are different stimulus things happening as states try to figure out what to do with this crazy amount of money they have to spend, and they don't have a lot of time to spend it. So there are rules on how they can spend the money that they got from the American Rescue Plan, and there are timetables involved in it. So, ultimately I'm more okay if they give you money than if they give it to some crazy pet project that they cook up. So I much rather they give the taxpayers money. Yeah, but I'm glad you applied, Kelly. I'm glad you applied. If you wake up one day and you find a grant check in the mail, that would be a wonderful bonus. It would be a wonderful bonus. These programs are terribly, they don't know how, they aren't administering them well, but the money's eventually coming out. You're going to see this fall, different money things come out because they have to spend it quickly. So it's eventually, they're going to get out of their own way eventually. The government is going to get out of their own way eventually. To switch topics back to the employee retention credit, and I hope to get to our 941 form for 2020 tomorrow. I have lots of highlighting done on my desk to hopefully make this good. A happy yoga dance, I hope, Kelly. A happy yoga dance. So you can do it with your Zen. One of the things that's come up as questions, as you people email me questions, and I appreciate that, is that cherry picking, okay? And you can, what do I mean by cherry picking? You can cherry pick who you used on the employee retention credit, who you used on the PPP, if you had enough time in what you filed for forgiveness. So if you filed for the full 24 weeks forgiveness, you can cherry pick who you used for which one, if there is benefit to you. You can also cherry pick the amount of time that you used it, if you chose a longer timeline. And because some of you, depending on where you are in the country, only qualified for the employee retention credit early on, but that's when you used your PPP. So one example would be if you applied, let's say you got your PPP on May 1st of last year, and you used it right away because that was the plan originally, and you spent it all by June 30th. Okay, so you used it all by June 30th is the way, but on your forgiveness paperwork, you put longer than 8 weeks. You put 20 weeks or you put 18 weeks. You could say that you used your employee retention credit for payroll from March through the end of June. And then after that period where you didn't qualify for the employee retention credit because there were no restrictions on your business and your sales had recovered, then that's when you began using your PPP. And that would be okay if you filled out your PPP forgiveness paperwork in such a manner. So there's lots of different scenarios you can get into that are a little easier one-on-one to talk through because, it involves Jim and Sally and Susie and my brother-in-law, Rick, and stuff. So sometimes it is easier to place that all out in an email and go back and forth with it. But I wanted to let you know that is allowed. Okay, so you can do some creative stuff like that, especially if you don't have restrictions and such in your area, or they all ended at the end of the second quarter last year, which in several parts of the country is what happened. Your restrictions ended, your sales bounced back. So for a 2020 credit, the only quarter you qualify for is the second quarter. We haven't dealt with 2021 yet. I want to get through 2020, and then we'll go back to 2020. Then we'll go forward to 2021 and help you all through that. So that is the plan. Again, your homework has been to get your PPP deposit dates, the amount of the PPP you said you spent on payroll on your forgiveness form, the number of weeks you said your PPP was used on your forgiveness form, your sales by quarter for 2020 and 2019, and your payroll journals with wages per person per quarter for 2020. And I gave you that spreadsheet to lay it all out in. So you've got all that to work with. So that will take us forward, and then we will get, hopefully if I can finish up my highlighting of the 941. I will have that so I can upload it tomorrow night, and we can start filling out a 941X is my goal, either tomorrow night or Tuesday. And once we get through that, we can move on to 2021. It is also okay if you have a payroll service provider or accountant who is willing to do all this for you. That's okay. Okay, I'm doing all this because there's a lot of people who are getting hosed by their payroll service provider or accountant. But if you are getting charged anywhere from the $100 to $250 a quarter for them to process and do all this for you, that's reasonable, okay, for them to take on and do it all and get it all done for you. If they are charging you more than that, like a finder's fee of 10 to 20% or more, then it's not okay. And, you can do this. This is not something you need them to do. You can do this paperwork. It is not insanely complicated. At least they're willing to address the 2021 ERC for you, Kelly. That's good. At least they're doing that for you. I'm glad they're at least doing that. The others are, we can get through it. We will get through this. I mean, the paperwork, when you really cut through all the yuck on the 941, and you'll actually be pretty surprised about it. You will be surprised on the 941X when we step through it, how little you actually have to fill out. There's some very important fields, and that's where it gets tricky, is there's very important fields that you can't miss or reject. But the overall form, once you cut out all the BS from it, is actually not that complicated. And we're going to cut out all the BS and get you through that, because that's what we do here. We cut through all the BS. You know what else we do? We send this video and everything I talk about, over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you. All the files, all the links, all the references, they're all over there at narts.org/resalestrong, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running that store. The store where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with all your friends in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. We're here to help everybody make it across the finish line. Maybe even the yoga instructor. I'm here every night at more 8 than ish, but if you have a question in between, you and especially you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. If you were not here at the top of the program, our Good Morning tonight on page 152. Good morning. Yikes, I almost attempted the good morning without coffee and a shower. Take care of yourself before leaping into the world. Take care. Love you. Our good night tonight is good night. Almost went to bed while reading the news. Give yourself a minute before you fall asleep. Get your mind right. Love ya. Yeah, don't do the death scroll of Facebook or the news or anything else. Turn it off. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. We will party again. We will party in person. And when we do, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at more 8 than ish, know that you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. It's time for dessert. I'll see you tomorrow.